In order to satisfy human needs require different types of goods and services. The form of producing of goods and services to those who are in need of them. These are undertaken with the object of earning money or livelihood. Hence, it is called an economic activity. Business is a major economic activity since it is concerned with the production and sale of goods and services that people need.
Activities undertaken with the object of earning money or livelihood are known as economic activities. For example, a teacher goes to school, a manager to his office, a doctor to his clinic, a worker to the factory and a lawyer to the court.
Activities which are undertaken to derive psychological satisfaction or for religious or social obligations, or are performed out of love, sympathy, patriotism, and similar sentiments are called non-economic activities. Business means busyness or the state of being busy. However, in a specific sense, business includes all occupations in which people regularly engage in activities with a view to earning profit. Such activities may consist of production or purchase of goods for sale, or exchange of goods or providing services to satisfy the needs of others.
An economic activity since it is concerned with the production and distribution of goods and service. Every business enterprise either produces goods or assembles them from producers to be sold to consumers. Services denotes facilities offered to consumers. Sales of exchange of goods and service for the satisfaction of human needs. Business consisting of dealing in goods and service. Regularity or continuity of dealing in business activities. Profit is the main motto of exchanging goods and services. Business involves risk, chance of loss.
The occupation of the people or economic activities can be classified into three broad categories: business, profession, and employment. Business refers to those economic activities consist of production or purchase of goods for sales or exchange goods or providing services with the object of earning profit. Those who are engaged in the business activities earn income in the form of profit.
A profession may be defined as an occupation which involves the rendering of personal services of special and expert. Those engaged in professions are known as professionals. The specialized services are rendered to their clients for a remuneration called fees.
Employment is a kind of human occupation, where a person performs the work assigned to him by his employer under an agreement or rules of services, in return for a remuneration called salary or wages.
Primary industries are concerned with the extracting, producing, and processing of natural resources. Extractive industries are engaged in the extraction or production of wealth from soil, water, or air. Genetic industries are undertaken for producing, breeding, multiplying certain species of plants or animals.
In the extraction or production of wealth from soil, water, or air, extracting minerals from under the earth, fishing, procuring timber from forests, etc. are activities of extractive industries.
Genetic industries refers to those activities which are undertaken for producing, breeding, multiplying certain species of plants or animals with the object of earning profits from their sales. Examples are cattle breeding, poultry farming, etc.
Analytical industry. This industry analyzes and separates different elements from the same minerals, for example, oil refinery. Synthetical industry. This kind of industry combines various ingredients into new product, for example, cement industry. Processing industry. Here involves successive stages of manufacturing process to get finished goods, for example, sugar or paper industry. Assembling industry assembles different components into a new product, e.g., computer or television industry, etc.
Commerce may be defined as the sum total of all those processes which are engaged in the removal of the hindrances of person, place, and time in the exchange of commodities.
It means buying and selling of goods. But there are various other activities that facilitate trade. These activities called services or auxiliaries to trade. This include transport, banking, insurance, warehousing, packaging, etc.
It also called internal trade or domestic trade consists of sale, transfer or exchange of goods within country. The primary object of a home trade is to bring about equitable distribution of goods within the country. Wholesale trade. It involves buying goods from producers in large quantities and selling them to retailers in small quantities. Retail trade. Retail trade consists in the supply of the requirements of the consumers in small quantities needed by them. They buy large quantity from wholesalers and give to small quantity to customers.
Foreign trade consists of trade among different nations. Here goods are moved from one country to another. Foreign trade is mostly conducted on wholesale basis. It is also known as international trade. It may be further divided into import trade, which consists of purchasing of goods from supplier of a foreign country for home use. Export trade, which consists of the selling of home goods to foreign countries. Entrepot trade, which consists of importing of foreign produced goods from some countries with the object of re-exporting them to some other countries.
Organizations engaged in different types of business activities are called business enterprises. It may be an industrial, trading or service enterprises. These service enterprises facilitates movement, storage, finance, risk coverage, and sales promotion of goods. They also help the consumers in satisfying their needs and desires.
Production usually takes place in particular locations. Here there is an obstacle or barrier of place. This is removed by transport through various modes. Road, rail, or coastal shipping transport makes possible the physical movements of materials and goods from the points of production to the place where they are needed for consumption. Along with transport facility, there arises the need for communication facilities. These will help producers, traders, and consumers exchange information with one another. Postal services, telephone facilities, and various modern means of communication.
Business requires funds for acquiring assets, purchasing raw materials, and meeting day-to-day expenses. Finance or fund, which is the foundations of business activities, is provided by banks. They accept deposit from the public and provided credit to the public. They generally lend money by providing overdraft and cash credit facilities, loans, and advances, and discounting of bills. Besides, commercial banks undertake collection of checks, remittance facilities, and various other services to the business.
In business, there are innumerable risks such as destruction of property by fire, earthquake, theft, damages of goods held in stock, loss of goods in transit, etc. So, insurance has been protects property and human beings. On payment of a nominal amount premium, the amount of loss or damages is compensates by the insurance company.
Usually goods are produced in factories or small-scale business units, are not sold or consumed immediately. They are to be kept in good condition and make them available as and when needed. Measures should be taken for storage of goods to prevent loss or damage. Warehouses help to storage and stabilize price by equalizing supplies.
It is one of the most important devices of promoting sales, especially consumer goods like soaps, detergent, electronic goods, etc. It helps in provide required information and inducing them to buy particular items.
Business activities are undertaken primarily to earn profit because profit is the lifeblood of the business. Business activities cannot be undertaken in isolation from the rest of the society. Thus, business activities should be conducted to fulfill the expectations of the society, and they will have multiplicity of objectives, including social responsibility to survive and prosper in long run. It may be stated here that profit is the primary objective but not the only one. Innovation means exploring and discovering ways and means by which products are made more useful to customers. The business world is highly competitive. In order to capture the market, new or improved products must be offered for sale. This is possible only with the help of new methods of production.
Productivity is ascertained by comparing the value of inputs. It is usually taken as the measure of efficiency. Every business must aim at greater productivity by making the best possible use of the scarce resources like men, money, machinery, materials, etc. IT reduces the wastage of materials, fuller utilization of equipments, and allotting funds with due regard to the benefit delivered.
All business establishments require physical and financial resources. Physical resources include plant, machinery, offices, etc. By financial resources mean fund to produce and supply goods and services to their customers. Good managers are needed by business enterprises to conduct and coordinate various business activities. Managers must be motivated well to get the best out of them. Manager performance and development must be an important objectives of any business.
Social responsibility refers to the obligations of businessmen to pursue those policies, to make those decisions which are desirable in terms of the objectives and values of our society. Usually face two types of risk: speculative and pure. Speculative risk involves both chance for a gain or loss. Such risk arise due to change in the market conditions like fluctuations in demand and supply, change in tastes and habits of customers. Pure risk involves the possibility of loss or even no loss. Fire, theft, earthquake, strike, etc. are example of pure risk. Natural causes, damages from flood, fire, earthquakes, etc. Human causes, caused by theft, bad debts, invalidated contracts, and other acts of general public.
Arising from competition in the form of entry of new products into the market, low cost of products, new inventions, etc. Price fluctuations. This may totally upset stock values, selling price, budget proposals, cost and income forecast.
A business opportunity may be to start a new business, expand or diversify the existing business, purchase another company, enter a joint venture of foreign collaborations, etc. The promoter has to decide the size of the business. He decide large, medium, or small scale unit. It depend upon economics of scale, future demand, finance, etc.
Private and public company, etc. The form of ownership depends upon size of business, finance, tax, extent of liability, etc.
The promoter must decide about the location of the business. He must consider factors like availability of land, electricity, water, nearness to market, transportation, scope for expansion, etc. Finance is the lifeline of the business. The promoter has to decide about business capital requirements and also find out different sources of finance. The finance need of business. Short-term or long-term, source of finance like shares, debenture, loans from banks, etc. Cost of collecting finance and returns on capital invested. The capital structure and appropriate time for collecting finance. Source of working capital.
Physical facilities means the resources used to convert raw materials into finished products. Promoters has to decide about the machines and equipments, and skilled and unskilled workers required.
Layout means arrangements of physical facilities like machines, equipments, and workers required for manufacturing goods. So promoter have a good plant layout. A business enterprise requires skilled and semi-skilled workers to do factory and clerical jobs. The success of all businesses depends upon selecting the right man for the right job.
Registration, the promoter start business. He brings together the physical facilities, starts the production process, recruits labor, produces and
He promoters has to decide about the tax liability. It cannot be avoided, but it can be minimized by better management. Tax planning does not mean non-payment of tax. Tax planning influences the promoter's decision about location, size, form, and profitability of the business.